So binary options trading has become largely popular over the last few years with this fast-paced style of trading, the possibility of making huge obnoxious sums of cash within just a few minutes. It is literally an emotional roller coaster going up and down and up and down as you wait for those last few seconds for that profitable trade to clear with those fingers crossed, hoping that you just don't get spiked out. We want to get in and out and make our money now. And with that being said, we all know this, and yet there are still a few common mistakes that almost every binary options trader makes when you are brand new to the space, and even as you started to trade month after month after month, you're probably still making some of these mistakes. So in this video, I'm gonna go over the most common mistakes that new binary options traders make and give you guys a little bit of tips and a little bit of tricks on how to avoid these mistakes so that you can become more profitable on a more consistent basis. Now, by now, we should all already know binary options is an all or nothing style of trading. It's a fixed risk and a fixed reward, and the objective is to be correct in your analysis within a certain period of time. And while most people get excited about that opportunity, that ability to literally be making money in minutes, to make what you probably make your hourly wage or your daily wage, your weekly wage, or even your monthly wage, you can literally make that in about 5 minutes. I know it's exciting and it's enticing, but the absolute biggest mistake that most traders make, and this isn't just for binary options, this is all around the board, is getting so bent up, so excited about making that money that you never actually sit down and say, wait a minute, what is the actual plan here? Majority of the traders that I talk to that are struggling in their trading and they come in and they say, hey man, I got the strategy down, I got everything, it was working when I was trading on demo, but I just can't seem to be doing good when I bring it to the live account. It's all because they're missing one thing, just one thing that can change everything, and that is an actual trading plan. Now, I know I talk about this a lot on this channel, but I want to drill it into people, and I know there's a lot of new people that watch these videos, and maybe you haven't seen some of my other videos on this channel, but if we're talking about binary options tradings for beginners, you have to really sit down before you touch the charts, before you choose a broker, before you get any of that stuff down. Sit down and really develop and comprise of an actual trading plan for yourself. You'll start to understand a little bit about the market, start to understand what makes the markets move, how do they move, the different patterns that you can learn, the different indicators that you can utilize. You have to sit down and come up with a plan of how much am I willing to win, how much am I willing to lose, and when is it do I call it quits and say I am no longer trading for today. Little questions like this, they may seem small for most people because most people just focus on strategy and learning the best strategy in the world, but even with some of the best strategies and techniques, if you have no plan, you are on the fastest path to absolute destruction within your account. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into trading plans and how to develop a trading plan or what you should even have in your trading plan in this video because I've done multiple videos on that, and on top of that, there's so many videos on YouTube that goes over trading plans, and I'm sure maybe some of your favorite traders even talk about having a trading plan as well. But even with all of this talk and all of the information on the internet, there are still millions of people that come into the trading space and absolutely do not even sit down and even think about what is the overall goal. What am I looking to do with this? What is the plan? And there isn't a successful person in the world that has become successful with absolutely no plan put in play. Now, I know that was a little bit more generic and probably not geared too much towards binaries, but towards trading in general. Still, it is an absolute must. So now let's flip the coin and let's focus a little bit more on binary options. If you are brand new to the space, then you are probably familiar with opening up a broker, and as soon as you open up a broker, you get a nice notification about a potential double up, triple up, or even a quadruple up in a deposit bonus. That's right, there's brokers out there that offer 100% bonus, 150%, 200, even 300% bonuses on your deposit, meaning if you deposit $100, they'll give you an extra $300 to be able to trade with. Now, although this may sound amazing in the beginning, this is actually one of the biggest and most common mistakes, because that excitement of having more money in your account will also bring excitement to say, hey, if I have more, I can trade more. But the problem with that is that a lot of the times when these brokers offer the bonuses to their customers, the bonuses comes with rules and regulations that most people do not read into, and a lot of these rules can be the reason why you are not able to withdraw your money when it is that you want to withdraw. So I always advise to people, if you don't have to, don't take the deposit bonus. But if it's something that you really want to do, you definitely want to make sure that you're reading up on what are the conditions of taking this bonus, because as we know, the brokers are here to make money and nothing is just given for free. Which brings me to my next point is the brokers themselves. A big mistake a lot of people make is they come in, they're probably watching a few videos, and they jump straight into depositing money into the first broker that they've ever found. With no research being done, not knowing much about the broker, you're probably just watching somebody online and saying, hey, what broker do you use? Because if you use that broker, I want to use it too. The issue with this is that, well, we know in the binary option space, or just in the finance space in general, there is a lot of sketchy people, a lot of sketchy organizations, and in our industry, a lot of sketchy brokers. And you want to make sure that you do full research, do your diligence, and understand that obviously the internet is like a bathroom wall, and you're gonna have a bunch of people. There's gonna be like, the people that complain about everything. So you don't really want to do research on a broker with the intentions of looking for the bad, but instead look at some of the good. Look at the pros of that broker. Does that broker allow you to withdraw your money when you want? Does that broker offer good payouts for the currencies or whatever tradable asset that they are offering? Is that broker a good and reliable broker, and how long has that broker been around? These are some of the questions that you want to ask yourself when you're looking for a broker to avoid getting caught up in a platform that's probably here today and gone tomorrow. And the reason why this is very important is that the majority of the brokers in our space are not regulated brokers. So if you guys are not familiar with regulated versus unregulated, the biggest pro to trading on a regulated broker is that regulated brokers typically have your money protected. So if something were to happen to the broker today or tomorrow, you can go to sleep at night knowing that you can get that money back. Whereas with an unregulated broker, they're probably overseas in some country or an island that doesn't really have a lot of rules and regulations. And with that being said, if the broker were to disappear next week, next month, or next year, well, chances are your money disappears with that broker as well. So it is actually very important that you look up, a little bit about that broker and ask some qualifying questions. Even if you have to ask a few traders or a few people that you follow online about the broker, I would always say never just settle for one opinion. This is money that we're talking about, especially if you plan on doing this full time and you want to do it long term, then you're going to have to go ahead and do your due diligence on what broker you are depositing your money into to avoid being scammed or just getting stuck in a broker that may not be the worst broker in the world, but also isn't the best fit for you. Now, as we already talked about, trading binary options is very fast paced, and it can also get a little bit too fun and too addicting. Because we're not waiting for these huge setups, and because we're not waiting long times to be taking profit or to see certain moves happen in the market, we're literally in and out within a few minutes. What also tends to happen is you have a lot of traders that come in and they get smacked by one of the 7 deadly trading sins, which is overtrading. Overtrading is probably the most common mistake that brand new binary options traders make, because again, it is so easy to just hit that buy or hit that sell button for 2 to 3 minutes and just continue to do that. I mean, think about how many trades you can place in 1 to 2 hours of sitting on the charts, and think about how easy it is to clear just at least 55 to 60% of those trades and just remain profitable. But we also have to understand that trading involves risk, and risk can lead to potential loss. So what's easy to do is also easy not to do. And when it comes to trading, overtrading is one of the biggest issues that people tend to have. You don't want to be the person that sits and takes 10, 20, 30 trades within an hour, just hits that button, hits that button, hits that button. You want to have a strategic game plan and know just about when you get on the charts, how many trades do you take on a daily basis? How many trades do you take on a weekly basis or a monthly basis? And be able to put some kind of plan in place to where you stick to and follow that plan so that you can maximize on the amount of profits that you're gaining in. It's also a lot easier to track your progression and see exactly if your account is going backwards, see where it is that you could be going wrong. If you have a set number to say, hey, I only take about 3 to 4 trades a day, it helps you hone in on quality positions over quantity positions. Because although a lot of trades might look good if you clear them all, you can post that on social media, you can show your friends, or if you're a part of the group, drop it in the group and like, hey, I just cleared 10 out of 10. It may look good, but overtrading can lead to revenge trading and gathering up a few wins to then be able to take a few losses and then some more losses and then some more losses and not have that threshold to say, I am done for the day, could be one of the biggest mistakes that you make in binary options. Because we know this already. The risk to reward is horrible. You are always going to be placing more risk than you get as a reward in each trade. So if you're just placing a bunch of trades with the hopes that you're going to win, and you don't actually have a plan in place to manage that potential risk, you are literally setting yourself up for failure. I always recommend to my students and the people that are learning with me, it's very simple. Just try to keep it less than 5 trades a day. I personally like to stick to 2 to 3. Sometimes I'll do 4, but for the most part, 2 to 3 trades a day is enough to keep the broke away. And you know, sometimes less is actually more. I mean, 10 trades a week, 40 trades a month, 500 trades a year. If you're looking at this from a more long-term perspective, there's a lot of money that can be made with just taking a few trades a day and not overtrading. Now, aside from revenge trading, overtrading can lead to other things as well, such as just taking unnecessary risk. A lot of the times when you don't have that threshold for yourself and you're kind of just placing trades to place trades, well, that's exactly what ends up happening. You start to get into positions that you know you probably shouldn't have taken just because you got that excitement, you got that urge, you got that itch to place another trade. But what I always tell people is you want to live to see another trade. And if you're that type of person that's just trading, and you're taking that unnecessary risk of just placing, and hey, you know what? I'm on 5 for 5 right now. Let's go for 8 out of 8. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It may sound exciting. It's almost like a game at some point, but we're here to make money. We're playing to win. We are not playing to lose. And you want to be able to minimize that potential risk as much as possible and look at all of the different outcomes and ask yourself, do I really need to take this trade? And when we're talking about unnecessary risk, I see this a lot as well, is that sometimes we may have a trading plan and sometimes we may know how many trades we're taking, but we're having a phenomenal day and we're like, you know what if I could just make a little bit more? And we go ahead and we up that position size to a point where 1 to 2 losses can wipe out all of the profits that we made for that day. And there are probably some of you watching this video right now and you're like, man, I would never do that. That would never be me. I know better, Rico, but I see this happen over and over and over again. I see people sending me screenshots and people, sending me voice messages and saying, hey, I just don't know what is going wrong. And it all comes back to one thing. I say it all the time. Do you have a trading plan? When we're talking about avoiding these mistakes, literally setting up a trading plan can help you so much, especially in managing your emotions when it comes to the charts. I'm a firm believer that most of trading comes from emotions and not from strategy itself, because you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you don't have your emotions in line and your emotions in check, you are never going to make any money on the charts. It's always going to be that emotional roller coaster and you're wondering, what in the world am I doing wrong? And it really just boils down to mastering the basics, man. Get back to the basics and never get too big for the little things. Learn how to manage those emotions. Stop over trading. Stop taking unnecessary risks. Learn how to put your trading plan together, and most importantly, stick to that trading plan, because that's going to change everything for you. I absolutely believe it, and hopefully you believe it too, because everything that I teach, I don't teach just from random things that popped up in the air. I teach based off of experience, because at one point in my life, I was just like you. I was a brand new trader. I was making all of these mistakes, and then as I started to get better, I started to realize that I wasn't the only one making these mistakes. Everyone else was making these mistakes too. So let me know down in the comment section below, guys, if you have ever made any one of these mistakes mentioned in this video, or maybe you're still making them to this day and this video helped clear things up for you just a little bit. Drop it down in the comment section. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what you think. And as always, guys, it's your boy Rico, aka RockStarrFX. I hope that you learned from those mistakes. I'm out. Peace.